so a friend wrote me this. Anxiety is a thin trickle of fear that runs through the mind. If encouraged, it cuts a channel into which all other thoughts are drained. And I think it's true. Anxiety breeds creativity. I mean, you have to go, if you're sort of complacent and really chilled out, you're never going to have these sort of peaks of creative time. But it's not nice all the same doing anxiety and actually not showing and not opening yourself up to all this sort of criticism that I just think it's quite unnatural, and I want things to be real, and I do things because I enjoy them, and that's it.
That's very evident though.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not trying to be the next kind of, superwoman or the next sort of big thing. I'm just doing things because I enjoy it and have a business and like it.
And all credit to you. Who does Alice Temperley sit and chew the fat with? Who, when you're kind of offloading, is it, you're sharing an Earl Grey or a mojito? I mean, is it Lars? Is it, who do you really sit and offload with?
I do actually. That's a really interesting question because you work with Lars and because I work with my sister, because my family's really close. It's kind of within me, it's always been installed that you don't want like a weakness, or you don't want to have anybody else hearing concerns. So I do keep quite a lot of it to myself.
Really?
Yeah. That's weirdly, I do. But otherwise, no. Of course, sisters and family and little brother, they hear it all. But
Henry's question for you was like, when did she have the chop and op?
When do I what?
Have the chop and op.
What does that mean?
When you had the sex change.
Me?
Yeah.
Henry, my brother? When did I have it? Or when will I have it?
When did you?
Cheeky little sod.
Yes. We might cut that.
Really?
That did make me laugh and laugh.
Really masculine. Little sod. Can't believe
I think he's
you said
getting
that.
you back
When
for all
did you
those
say-
years
where- yeah.
of you
Have you
dressing
seen
him
it?
up
Have you
in
seen
drag.
him in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did, from putting yourself out there so much and working so hard, people will probably think this, it's probably a lot later than people think. When was the moment that you actually pinched yourself and thought, I think I've made it?
I haven't even thought that. And the fact that I went to the theatre last night, or a ballet, and I saw somebody who sat in front of me in a dress, and I still get a shock, and that's the nice thing about it. But I certainly haven't thought that, and people say, I know you're really well known, and I know that the name is, but I mean, it doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't penetrate through to you personally saying, wow,
No, certainly not. No, absolutely. Very.
How do you think you personally changed over the last 5 years, for example?
I'm a lot more relaxed than what I was. The stress of it all to begin with, when you're trying to do something and build a company, it's not the easiest thing to do in this country, especially. And luckily, we've been really supportive, and we've got an amazing business. But can't remember what the question was. Sorry.
What was the question?
You made it.
Yeah, we're actually making it. And
I don't think I can just carry on. I don't think I've ever thought that, and I think that's a terrible thing. It
was about in the last 5 years, how you've changed in the last 5 years, and you said about sort of being a lot less.
Oh, in the last 5 years, I guess I've changed where I'm the focus of having a child and doing stuff, not. And the stress. It was very stressful before, and now we've kind of built the building blocks to have a business on those, and to build those building blocks is really hard work.
Yeah.
And so the stress, because it's built, essentially, is being taken away, and I feel happier for that. And you can kind of see where it's going to go, and you can see that there's a sort of the safety within those blocks. So yeah, I'm happier, I think. Just
What's your?
more chilled out, a little bit calmer, a little bit more well behaved.
I was going to say, what's your kind of worst character trait in yourself?
Obsessively organised in a very chaotic way, I think.
Brilliant.
Organised chaos is what people know me as.
Right.
And I'm very organised, but I'm also quite chaotic.
Right.
And
that
I
affects the people around you.
I expect things to be done quite fast, and I don't have any patience for. I lose my patience when people sort of dither around. I kind of.
Yeah. That's the kind of.
I just like things done like that. I'm quite like that, but anyway, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, I think. as other people.
Who are your kind of biggest influences in your life?
I would say, I guess my family, very, very close family.
You are.
And as far as influences, I've never worked for anybody else, and done a little bit of consulting before, but so no influence there. And I guess it's just following a dream from when I was a child, so there's something that's made me always want to do this, and the influence is always just sort of perseverance of, I don't know what, maybe it's my dad pushing me as a child.
Yeah.
Probably. That's probably why I worked.
Or making the board for you when you'd go to Covent Garden and get all your beads, and then you would sort of make your necklaces and earrings.
You know about that, yes. I used to sell them for £1.20. So I've always made stuff and sold stuff. I guess that my father's always made stuff and sold stuff.
Yeah, it's in the blood. It's like kind of that
And
concept of producing, working hard, and then getting their fee for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and he'd always say he'd never make any money doing the arts, and you're just all sorts of things. And I think that there was definitely.
Is he eating his words?
Well, he would never admit it. But sorry, I'm zoning out.
Cool. Well, that section's done. That's
How neat your questions are written.
Huh?
How neat your questions are written.
I know. I'm very neat and tidy, quite organised boy myself within the chaos that is Scotland. So.
Should we have a drink?
Yes. Let's do the drink.
Yep.
I had about 3 hours sleep last night, so if I look at something, then I'll forget what I was talking
So
about.
it's like, oh, that's a pretty sort of looking over there. I'm zoning out. Yeah, let's have a drink, and then we can do the last bit. This is literally the last bit, and then it's only a few questions, and they're fast ones, and I fire them at you, and you give me an answer, and then we could maybe have a couple of shots just cooing with Fox, so we can just slip into it. And then I want almost a very quick one, of just a shot of you and I, with my head looking that way and yours looking that way, and it's just a shot, and we're just because we can talk over the top, and it can just be us kind of just looking up at the ceiling with the camera over the top.
Brilliant.
And then we're done. I will have a small finale to say about, hail, all hail Alice Templey kind of thing, but apart from that, we're done.
He's a natural. Have you worked with Scott before? Are you a friend of Scott?
We're friends, and it's kind of evolved from that.
Poor Charlie's been sort of roped into coming around questioning me and doing the kind of...
Just...
And I just
So
want
who have you been talking to my mum about? What have you been talking to my mum about?
she's been brilliant. I mean, in the suitable die bonkersness, sort of sending me these emails, and she's got some pictures and stuff, and talking about Mr. Silvers, and then kind of like, just your childhood as well. And I think we've touched on that about, because people kind of think about, they don't know enough about the fact that you are a country girl, rather than it being this kind of bohemian kind of Notting Hill set. That's not your life at all. You just happen to live here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that for many connotations of being a West and the East and this and that, people think that I'm born and bred Notting Hill person really pisses me off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's important to reference that, because you are a country girl, and, a lot of your work is very, especially in the early days, was very strongly influenced by your life of growing up and, rolling down hills and cider barrels and hanging out and riding your pony and, lambing and, that whole kind of vibe that I just think is very evident in your sort of early work.
Feral, wild child.
Yes, wild alpacas and sleeping in teepees and, that kind of existence.
You know it too well.
I do.